So I've got all my yarn around here, so it's a little bit messy. But this is what I use to do my pom-poms. So these are some of the tools that I use the most often. So the tool I use the most is the robot, mostly because it has the two different sizes. So I use the narrow end quite a lot to make these kind of smaller size pom-poms. If I want to do a really big pom-pom, I tend to use this one because the arms are wider. So this is a good tool to use for like blankets or scarves, or if you're putting pom-poms at the end, like on hats and things like that. So if you need a really big pom-pom, that's the one to use. These are the trim guides. So a lot of people ask, how do you get different sized pom-poms? The best, well, with these tools, the more you wrap, the bigger your pom-pom will be, but it also comes down to how much you trim off. So I use this set depending what kind of, what size I want to make, but I tend to use the smaller ones a bit more. So there's also a bamboo one, and then I made this one out of cardboard a really long time ago, and years later it's still going strong and is one of my most used trim guides. So there you go. You don't need anything fancy. Just whatever you have, any little circular disc will do. So I'll show you how to use those later. And then I also use darning needles to attach my pom-pom to different things. So whatever I'm making, you need a little needle to get your pom-pom onto your project. So those are the tools, and these are the scissors that I use. So I use two different scissors. When I'm trimming, I use the orange ones for like the big first major trim because these are super sharp and they cut through like everything like butter. So I tend to use those first. And then I use these ones which are a bit longer for like the fine trimming. So those are the scissors. Then you need strong string, which is crochet cotton, or you can use embroidery floss as well, works really good. It's just a bit more expensive like per use. So I just use crochet cotton. It's cheap as chips and really good and strong. And then the other thing I use is a potato roasting tray for holding all of my scraps as I'm trimming. So the amount of people that message me to say that they just trim on their desk when it's so messy and how do I keep everything so tidy. Just bought this from Sainsbury's. I think it looks quite nice, and that's my pom-pom trimming tray. So those are the basic things that I use to make the pom-poms.